I never felt so much alive. Boom. Here's a note. Just because the Broncos are playing in London does not mean you need to tweet London calling. It is offensive to the Clash.
It is
commercialized for a sport I don't think they love.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, how much money do you think they've made off of Should I Stay or Should I Go? Just licensing that song alone.
Ooh,
$4 trillion, roughly.
Are the Clash the most commercially successful punk band?
Oh, that's a great question. I have to imagine the answer is yes, just because they were one of the first punk bands.
Yeah, one of the most actually musically talented. It'd probably be between them and the Ramones maybe, but
yeah, I think those are probably 1A and 1B.
Yeah,
you have your American version and your British version.
Yeah, the Clash, hands down, my favorite of the music. When I pretended to really love punk rock in my teens as a skateboarder, assuming that's what I needed to do to cultivate the whole persona of that lifestyle, I listened to a lot of shitty music before I was like, you don't have to listen to all of this. There's some good ones in here.
Did you ever pretend to like the Sex Pistols?
Oh yeah, I definitely have their CD.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of on purpose. I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that it's bad?
No, I mean, you have to go down a whole punk rock rabbit hole. And I think I love the Vandals the most. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Broncos. I swear to God. I was like, hey, start with the Clash in London Calling, because Broncos are playing in London. And I saw 1 billion people just tweet London Calling and the Broncos today. And I was like, that's kind of annoying. Anyway, we're going to talk about the London game. It's October 30th.
Yep.
Day after my birthday. So that'll tell us everything we need to know about whether or not the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Saubert coming back. Bryce Callahan going to the Chargers. A bunch of guys not coming back for the Broncos. And then we'll kind of look at the draft around the AFC West. Will Keys joining me for the greatest podcast on earth.
I wish we had a record of how many we've done together.
Oh, shit, a lot.
It's probably, do you want to guess?
Podcasts?
Yeah.
Ooh. How long have we actually been doing the podcast? 3 years? 4?
Oh, 4. Almost 4.
Did we start right after we started writing together?
Yeah. I remember right when I moved home from college we started. So it's almost 4 years.
Okay.
I would say it's over 200.
Yo, for sure.
Which is crazy.
I'd say it's close to 300. Because we do one a week all year long. During the football season, 2 to 3 a week. So that's at least 50 a year is, I think, the low.
Good point.
That puts us right at 200.
We used to do it every other week. Do you remember that?
Oh, in the off season?
Yeah, that was when we didn't have money.
That's before DraftKings Sportsbook sponsored the show. Use code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings, and they're going to take care of your little tukuses. That was, you got to convert for the brands or they will erase you from history. Also, benchwarmerbrew.com. That business, actually, if you don't support, could disappear. So you want to buy some really good coffee, some great shirts, as Will's promoting here on YouTube. I don't know if you can see that with your ears in the podcast version, but benchwarmerbrew.com. Okay, Will, where do we want to start? London?
I think
7:30 a.m., 6:30 Pacific time.
6:30 Pacific time.
Oh, I am gonna be I'm gonna make you live stream that game with me, just so I know for sure you're up at 6:30 a.m. on the West Coast.
There are not a ton of things that could get me up at 6:30 on a Sunday, on a weekend, really at all.
Sex.
That is one of the things. as one of the things that'll do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll probably be up well before 6:30.
6:25.
6:25 Pacific time.
Yeah. Before having a kid, this would have been conflicting. I would have been pissed to find out I had to get up that early for a Broncos game and start working. But now, like, I'm up at 6:30 every day. Like, I don't have a choice. That includes the weekends. There's like no break from 6:30. My body's trained for it. I am a savage. I can function off of 3 hours of sleep. A kid will open up your capabilities as a man. The real question is, are we going to be in London for the game, Will?
I'm down.
Everybody listening to this podcast, please start tweeting to DNVR and Brandon Spano and say, send Perna and Keys to London with the crew, because I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of people over there as well, and say, or, get DraftKings to take Perna and Keys to London. Probably Perna, Keys, and Grassi. Let's just do all the live streams over there.
Let's get Grassi over there too.
Let's meet up with Broncos Europe, and let's just have a sports podcasting Broncos orgy with good Broncos ass-kicking football, which it'll be on like at 1 p.m. in London. It's the Jags. The Broncos were playing the Jags. I forgot to mention that.
Hometown Jaguars.
Probably going to be an easy win. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, we could celebrate A, your birthday.
Yep.
B, hopefully a victory. We'll be turning 29. That's interesting. And Halloween is the day after.
Yeah.
Nothing like Halloween falling on a Monday.
No. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, have you been to London, England ever?
No, I've never been to Europe.
Oh, well, I haven't been in some time, and I think to see the Broncos and to have an enriching cultural experience, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, I'll be a little worried about like navigating the city without understanding the language, but
yeah, the language barrier is kind of tough.
Yeah,
because you throw in like those unnecessary U's, like it with color or like flavor.
Yeah,
and that's pretty disorienting.
Flavor? Why don't you try putting it in your food, London?
Nice one. Flavor. I hardly know her. Yeah, that would be sweet though to meet up with the Broncos Europe guys.
Yeah.
Which they've just exploded, kind of, the Irish NFL show.
Yeah, no, they're doing great.
They're awesome.
Michael,
very driven.
he spoiled. Well, he sent me the early text saying the Broncos Jags game was confirmed. He's like, I can't. Oh, yeah. He's like, I can't say it publicly yet, but he had the dates, the info, all correct. So he broke the news to me, secret. And I did not out him.
Until now.
Well, yeah. But it's
does he know the final score yet?
Oh yeah. I can't reveal that.
Okay. I don't want to know.
But let's just say it's a lot.
Let's just say it doesn't matter who the Jaguars picked first.
Nope.
It
could have helped.
Yeah, no, actually, it probably would. No, it's great too that you get kind of like I don't know how the Jaguars are going to be next year. I don't know how Trevor Lawrence is going to look next year. I don't know if Doug Peterson's going to make that much of an upgrade year one, but you feel confident going into a game.
It could be
and if you're going to travel all that way to go see your team.
Oh,
they have to win.
You travel all that way and like Russell Wilson's not playing because he tweaked a hamstring or something weird.
If we get Brett Rippin in the UK, I mean, we'd probably still win.
Brett Rip it and grip it, baby.
We beat the Jaguars with Paxton Lynch one time, so
that's true.
I feel.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's also nice
at Rod Smith's house.
Oh, he was probably throwing up in his mouth watching that offense. Poor guy.
Poor Rod Smith.
It's also good, I think, when you can avoid nothing against Jacksonville, but sometimes you play there, before the colder time of the season, and you get some weird conditions, and all of a sudden it's like 95 degrees, and the Jaguars are wearing white, and you have to wear your darker uniforms, and weird stuff happens.
Yeah. Those like week 2 games in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Humidity is 1,000%.
They're a little tricky.
Yeah. So does this count as a road game for the Broncos?
It does. Yeah. So that's another aspect to this, because the Broncos are playing. So they had 9 home games last year.
Yeah.
The way the schedule is balanced out. And so they're going to have 8 home games this year, 8 true road games, and then London, which I think you would treat as a neutral game. I don't know like what the environment would be like. I know the Jags are kind of a quasi home team, but I imagine that the Broncos will be pretty well represented.
I guarantee they have a better following there than Jacksonville. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So that's kind of a nice way to manipulate the schedule for however long that's the case until we get to 18 games. You can avoid, a 9-game road schedule. Plus, you get the bye week, presumably right after. Week 9, which is kind of the perfect time to get a bye.
Yeah, that's all shaping up for a Super Bowl next year.
Pretty much.
I think about that, like, my realistic expectation is there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for the Broncos, for a new head coach, for Russell Wilson.
Yep.
But then I started thinking about 2012, and that adjustment period is 3 to 4 weeks. And the Broncos started off really bad that season. And then that turned into the season that they should have made it to the Super Bowl, the one that got away. Mm-hmm. So now my new expectation is the same thing. It's the best year for the Broncos to get to the Super Bowl. They're going to be the most unpredictable. Once they click, they're going to be difficult for other teams to figure out. This is their run. Except we're not going to run into Russell Wilson. I mean, we're not going to run into Joe Flacco in the playoffs. So,
what if we did run into Joe Flacco
and
playing quarterback for the Jets in the playoffs?
And he beat us again? Oh.
What kind of just hell universe would that have to be? Not only do the Jets make the playoffs, but they make it with Joe Flacco.
That would be insane.
And they have a pretty good team.
I think the Jets will be better, but no. I just talked about Joe Flacco today in the Ryan Tannehill episode.
Right. What do you like? What do you make of all that? Because Tannehill is a lot better than Flacco was when he came to Denver.
Yeah, he's a lot better, but he's not as accomplished. You know what I mean? I think Tannehill's I think like the soundbite got blown way out of proportion. I think Tannehill actually talked about a lot of like really important stuff in that press conference. Like he was pretty open about how rough the playoff loss was on him. And we kind of forget about, losing big games is actually hard on people, like as people. He talked about needing therapy. Like I think there was some, undertones of anxiety and depression to like get through it. And how losing AJ Brown is really tough. He wasn't, informed about
because they were good friends.
Yeah. And he wasn't informed about the Malik Willis pick. But I think like my takeaway is that I think quarterbacks kind of try to project confidence when they're saying like they're not here to mentor. And I watched it a few times. I think he's a little nervous about losing his job, honestly, to the rookie coming in. Maybe not this season, but that's just an added pressure to it. But I think part of once you get to a level when you're a veteran quarterback and you have not won a Super Bowl, you kind of have to know that your role might shift and your job is to be a leader. And part of that job might be to help your replacement, but also just like there's an aspect of helping the backup quarterback in the type of situation where you need Malik Willis to come in to help the team, even though he's not replacing you for the season or for the job, but like a game or a couple series within a game. You've got to be confident enough to say, like, yeah, I'm going to help him do everything he can to succeed. And you don't really have to do that. But like,
right.
It's also not like a line where Ryan Tannehill's saying, I'm never going to give him any advice or any information to help him like grow in this league. He's saying, I don't think it's my job to groom him to replace me.
But like, choice of words these days.
Yeah, they're going to be working together. There's like no way around it. They're going to be communicating, and I'm sure they'll develop some sort of relationship together. And I'm sure he will help him in various ways. And it's a little bit on the rookie too, to like, if you want that guy, if you want to pick his brain, you have to kind of take the initiative there. And I don't think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the kind of asshole like Brett Favre was, or mostly Brett Favre. He's like, if you ask him something, I'm sure he's going to give you an answer. I'm sure there's going to be open dialogues between you and the coaches and all that shit.
Brett Favre, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Guys who are, infamously secure.
Yeah. And Brady will help. Brady, I'm sure, would help any of the guys he was not directly threatened by. So I'm sure
he was probably like very forthcoming with Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like Jared Stidham.
Yeah. And the other issue, like the other thing I kind of took away is this is an out year after this season for the Titans and Tannehill's contract. Like this is the first year if in 2023, if they don't want to go forward with Tannehill, they take like an $18 million dead cap hit, but it's the smallest cap hit until like the following two seasons. But this is their out year. So yeah, man, there's a ton of pressure on him. And I think he shouldn't have said those exact words and nobody would have, talked about it. They would have talked about anything else he said in the press conference. But
I just want to point out that in that playoff game, Tannehill he had the interception on the first play of the game, interception on the last offensive play of the game. Derrick Henry, 20 carries for 62 yards. And yet no one's calling out Derrick Henry.
Well, he was just coming back from an injury.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he had a long time though. They had a bye, and I think he could have come back in the regular season. I don't know. I just think we love to put all the blame on the quarterback.
Sure.
He has one, he has 3 really solid seasons and has one bad playoff game. And that's partially fair because they are the quarterback. It's the most important position in sports. It's kind of a truism. But I don't know, man. Maybe the reason he needed therapy is because we're a little too hard on quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. That's a very good point. But like he came into the Titans and took Marcus Mariota's job.
Yeah, that's the nature of the biz.
So he's done it. Like it's also their offense is they're going to have to figure out a different offense really if Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry.
That's kind of the trouble. And they were good last year. They were plenty good without Derrick Henry too.
Well, they won, and it's so hard. Like they were good when AJ Brown was healthy and Tannehill could lean on him in the passing game. And then they kind of eked out a few wins. They were a weird team last year. They were a very weird team to finish first in the AFC. One of maybe the most bizarre.
They had a point differential of, they're 15th in scoring, and they're first place in a really, really good conference. But I think that just goes to show what happens when you get 2 games against the Jags and 2 more against the Texans, which they also lost to the Texans.
Yeah, I think they lost to the Jets too.
Yeah.
Tannehill's a good quarterback.
I like Ryan Tannehill. If I didn't have Russell Wilson, I wouldn't mind Ryan Tannehill on my team.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't care.
It's just like when you get to the playoffs, is he going to carry you through the postseason? I don't think so. But
perhaps not.
Anyway, he's not going to, well, he kind of, it's hard to say it after the Bengals game. He's not going to lose you. But I like Ryan Tannehill too. And I think he's put up a solid amount of work, and he's always seemed like a good guy. So it's just unfortunate he said it, and that's the headline that they ran with. I'm sure he wishes he had that one back. And I'm sure he wishes that in a press conference when he's talking about how hard he was on himself after that loss, the next thing he doesn't need is being hard on himself for not feeling like he's going to be a good teammate to Malik Willis.
Yeah, it's turned into this weird Rorschach test. And I guess I don't know, that's kind of the deal. And it's weird, like after you trade or you sign Peyton Manning, you go and you spend the 2nd round pick on Brock Osweiler. And you feel like because he's Peyton Manning, he can handle that, even though you have drafted a replacement. Yeah. They didn't do the same thing with Russell Wilson. Did you ever consider that?
No, because the reason they did that with Peyton Manning is his injury uncertainty was so high as well. It's like, we believe in you. We're going to pay you the $20 million.
It's a lot of money in those days.
But Manning, everybody knew there was a question about if he could throw the football. And I think it had more to do with that than anything else. You know what I mean?
That's true. People really don't remember what a risky proposition it was.
Yeah. Like Eli Manning talking about how Peyton couldn't throw the ball to him when they were trying to get Peyton's arm back. It's like, oh God.
I feel like that would make a great movie.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully not one like the Kurt Warner movie, but just like literally just about the recovery process.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's move.
This is the Ryan Tannehill podcast. Come back next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Broncos did sign tight end Eric Saubert. He's going to come back. Love this move. We've got all the tight ends we need now.
Yeah, we're set.
We got 2 pass catchers in Alberto and Eric Dolcich, the rookie they just drafted.
Greg Dolcich.
Sorry, did I say Eric?
I think so.
Why? Because I was looking at Eric Saubert's name. That's why. Yeah. Greg Dolcich. Right. But Eric comes in. He's kind of your utility guy. You can use him in the red zone in the passing game. He can pass block. He's solid run blocker. It's just a great safety net at the tight end position. And I think it allows those other guys to do what they're good at, and that's catch balls, catch passes. You can run 2 tight end sets and still be dynamic there. Not coming back. Kenny Young, Shamar Stephen, Bobby Macy, Brett Jones, AJ Johnston, Justin Hamilton, Kyle Fuller, Cameron Fleming, and Bryce Callahan.
Also, Stephen Weatherly signed with the Browns.
Stephen Weatherly, cool sunglass guy.
Do we know that Kenny Young's not coming back for sure?
Well, yeah, okay. I guess these were guys the Broncos asked. They were asked to not resign. This is the Kliss tweet.
I suppose.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that tweet.
Let me find this shit. Because he tweeted that, but then Eric Saubert signed. So I guess technically they could sign, but the Broncos asked them not to. Something about how it won't count against the compensatory pick formula. But
it's above our pay grade.
Yeah. That's nerd shit.
It kind of is nerd shit. I mean, I would be on the Kenny Young radar now just because they didn't draft an inside linebacker. And it sounds like the way George Payton was talking, they're a little bit more serious about moving Baron Browning to outside linebacker. But they don't have to commit to that. Like he can play whatever he wants. Micah Parsons played both and did both really well last year. So you don't have to commit to that.
Right. All right. So Cliff tweeted, Broncos free agents officially asked to not re-sign. It's that list I just mentioned. Then he said, procedural deal that meant when these players sign elsewhere, their contracts wouldn't count as part of the compensatory pick formula. That was 19 hours ago. And then Broncos announced they've re-signed Eric Saubert. So I guess any of these guys could come back. And you're right. Possibly Kenny Young, maybe AJ Johnson would be, if you're going to bet on two more or one of two more coming back, those positions. Bryce Callahan leaving kind of stings.
Yeah.
Especially since he went to the Chargers, who now could possibly have the best secondary in the AFC.
Yeah, I don't know. That depends on a lot.
Wow. You're really pushing it, Will.
I mean, okay. In perfect conditions, yes, I think they have the chance. But you're counting on Derwin James staying healthy, which,
he was healthy last year.
It's coin flip. Call it a coin flip. Chris Harris Jr. has to not fall off a cliff in terms of production.
I think he's a free hit.
Is he?
Chris Harris, is he going back?
He might be a free agent. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, their free their secondary just got better after knowing that.
Wow.
Bryce Callahan, also a coin flip whether he'll be on the field.
Fair enough.
J.C. Jackson, we'll see how he transitions to a different defense.
J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel, Michael Davis. But here's the killer.
Quentin Jammer. Drayton Florence.
Jammer. They signed a man, and I don't know how we missed this, for the best name players. Jasir Davis. Jasir. Jasir. Jasir Davis. Rookie, late round. Scared of that man because that is a cool name.
I think it's Jasir Taylor from Wake Forest. Is that the guy? Said he was drafted in the 6th round by the Chargers.
God, man, am I really just fucking all of this shit up? Oh, Jasir Taylor. Okay.
Yeah, you're probably just thinking of Michael Davis.
Yeah, I probably looked at Davis and then wrote that. Jasir Taylor. Either way.
Pretty good.
Actually, Taylor's better. We could have went with so many Taylor jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a thing about him, but that does improve my evaluation of their secondary.
Yeah, it's a little better
having Jasir Taylor out there.
All right.
I think Patrick Surtain's better than any player on the Chargers secondary, though.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, we're going to say Pat Surtain's the best corner in the NFL, so Broncos have that. We'll see how the depth pans out there. Would have liked Bryce Callahan to come back for just some safety padding at that position.
But you get K'Wan Williams.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting.
Which is one that everybody kind of has forgotten. You still have Ronald Darby. I
honestly keep forgetting about K'Wan Williams and the guy from San Francisco, DJ
Jones.
DJ Jones.
Yeah, I forget about him too. Someone was like, our 2 Jones up front. It's like Draymond Jones and who else? Oh, DJ. Yeah, DJ Jones. That guy's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn into a really, really solid addition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. And then you drafted Damari Mathis, and one of the other guys that I had heard his name, but Jaquan McMillan. Have you seen this guy?
Mm-mm.
He's like 5'10", 160 pounds, which is probably the reason he went undrafted. But he has insane ball skills, and they got him
undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, undrafted rookie free agent. Yeah.
Undrafted rookie free agent. Let's see where he went to college. East Carolina. They say he's 5'10", 183, but that is just
Generous.
not true. That is very generous. Probably 5'9", 160.
Wow.
Yeah. Wikipedia has him at 5'10", 161.
Oof. Yeah, he's
So
built like me then.
Yeah, but he can hit a little bit too.
What position does he play?
Corner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a small corner. But
he can put on like 20 pounds though.
The NFL can put on that
pounds.
muscle weight. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay. What else is interesting? DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah, look at that smooth transition into the legal disclaimer, baby. NBA playoff action is nonstop at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And this week, new customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $100. And get $150 in free bets. God, when I do the voice, I screw up. Sorry, DraftKings. But if you're looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during the NBA playoffs, do it with DraftKings same-game parlays. All right? Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets, like which team will win, total threes made, total rebounds, and more. Boom! You have a shot at even a bigger payout. Right now, all customers can place a same-game parlay with 3 or more legs and get a free bet back up to $25 if one leg doesn't hit. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR, 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 DNVR. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code DNVR. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Got to be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Okay, Willis.
I had a take about the Eric Saubert re-signing.
Okay. Give it to me.
This kind of tells me that because they waited after the draft to sign him. This tells me that they wanted to draft Trey McBride.
Oh.
Because Trey McBride is a better blocker than Greg Dolcich.
Oh.
And when they didn't get Trey McBride and they did take Greg Dolcich, that changed their plans a little bit because Dolcich, very good player, but you also need more than Eric Tomlinson at tight end if you want to run some heavy package stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean they've really invested in tight end since Hackett has come, right? So they lose Noah Fant. They sign Eric Tomlinson. They draft a tight end, and then they bring back Saubert. And they're still like, they have 1, 2, 3 other tight ends on the roster, including Dylan Parham.
You got Andrew Beck, who's an H-back.
Andrew Beck, Rodney Williams, Sean Bayer. But, like, you're right. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of instrumental to their offense that they run. Like, they really value that. And I think we just kind of, like, with Russell Wilson, it feels like the tight end's not going to be featured or that important just because it seems like him and tight ends have never put up huge numbers together.
I don't know. Like, a lot of people think that's because of his height and his ability to see the middle of the field. I don't know. I think that was never a priority for that offense necessarily.
Yeah.
I think he is better at throwing outside the numbers for sure.
Yeah.
And he's probably more comfortable doing that. And that it kind of is the trade-off when you take a shorter quarterback. But
yeah,
he's also, I don't know, he had Jimmy Graham. He had, who am I missing? Zach Miller was the tight end when he got there. Jimmy Graham was never the same after leaving New Orleans.
No.
Even with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And he got old Greg Olsen. His bet, like Zach Miller early, there's good chemistry there, and then Will Dissly looked like they were going to have a really good relationship.
Will Dissly looked like Shannon Sharp
Yeah,
in his first game against the Broncos.
yeah. Was that the Case Keenum game?
That was.
Yeah.
Let's see. He had 3 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown against Denver, and he had 8 catches for 156 yards that whole season.
Yeah, well, he got hurt.
He only played 4 games, but yeah.
He got hurt after that. And then he got hurt. I think he got hurt the following season too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they'd bring him in, but he re-signed with the Seahawks, and we upgraded a tight end elsewhere.
Yeah. There are no holes on this team. That's the new Broncos motto.
Plug in the holes.
Plug in the holes. All right, let's look at the rest of the AFC West draft. I wanted to do that today because we're gonna recap the AFC West for That's Good Sports. And I think like my takeaway, like many, was the Chiefs had a good draft. And a big part of that is because they had a lot of fucking picks and they're already a good team. But Kansas City, you could argue, had the worst offseason of any team in the AFC West. So that kind of balances out, right? Okay, maybe not the best free agency period, but draft pretty good, we think, on paper. So to me, that puts like all of these teams pretty much even in terms of like, I don't know who's going to come out of this division on top, except I would still keep the Raiders at the bottom. So let's look at their draft first, Will.
Yeah, I mean,
the Raiders and the Broncos both have a Dylan Parham.
That can't be right. And then the Chargers have a Donald Parham.
Yeah. Tight end Dylan Parham. He's on the Denver Broncos depth chart.
Are they twins? Are they
they're twins with the same name?
Did their parents just get really lazy?
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. This is really confusing.
Is life real right now?
Former NC State tight end Dylan Parham, yeah.
Signs with the Denver Broncos. Dylan
Memphis,
Parham,
NC
Raiders.
State.
Oh my God.
These guys don't look related at all.
Will the real Dylan Parhams? Okay, so this is a great angle for our
Parhams.
Yeah, 2 Dylan Parhams. Who got the better Parham, the Broncos or the Raiders? Anyway, that was the Raiders' first pick in the 3rd round. Guard out of Memphis.
Raiders better hope they got the best Parham.
Yeah. Did we? Wait, no, we wanted the tight end.
Yeah.
We forgot to write tight end on the draft card. Shit. That sounds like something the Raiders would do, too.
Mm-hmm.
Zamir White, Neil Farrell, defensive tackle. Zamir White's a running back. Matthew Butler, defensive tackle out of Tennessee. Thayer Munford, O-line. Britton Brown, running back, UCLA. So the Raiders had 2 running backs. Shows your confidence that they have in Josh Jacobs moving forward.
Yeah, and they declined his 5th-year option.
Declined
every 5th-year option that they had on the table, by the way.
Yeah, that's stupid. That entire first round for Mayock and Gruden where they had 3 picks. McDaniel's like, none of these guys are worth it.
Good job.
Including Cleveland Farrell. They took another Farrell in this one, also on the D-line. So that's kind of strange. Looking at the Raiders draft, though, the one thing that surprised me is they didn't go secondary at all.
I was going to say the same thing. They got lit up by the Chiefs twice last year.
Yeah.
It was like embarrassing how obvious secondary was a hole for them. And they didn't do anything. I mean, I know they upgraded their pass rush with Chandler Jones, which will help them out on the back end too.
Yeah.
But they need more than like Nate Hobbs out there.
Yeah, and he was good. That was a really good draft pick.
We'll see if Trayvon Merrick gets, if he takes a step up this year. But they did address secondary, I think, with 3 picks early on last year, and it just didn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of that is because, Abram kind of sucks. And Damon Arnett obviously not on the
Didn't
team
work
anymore.
out. Yeah.
That didn't work
So
out.
it seemed like, to me, the two things the Raiders needed to do were offensive line and secondary. It's like, but it's they got new GM Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels. So I'm glad. I hope this doesn't, because if I had to look at the 3 AFC West drafts, the one that kind of doesn't look right to me is the Raiders one. Like, wait a second.
Yeah, I thought they were good on the offensive line last year too. I mean, obviously Leatherwood is kind of a huge question mark, and they lost Rodney Hudson, but I didn't think it was their biggest need whatsoever. So good for them. I mean, the biggest thing, I was listening to Bill Simmons talking to Peter Schrager, and he picked the Raiders to win the AFC West this year.
Wow.
And one of the reasons why he said that their coaching change, which is the reason why I think they're going to finish last in the division. Like, Rich Bisaccia was a very good, competent head coach, and they switched him out for the worst head coach of before Urban Meyer, the worst head coach of the last 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I don't know how that helps you unless
No.
like he seriously turned things around personally, which he might have, but we don't have any proof that that's the case yet.
No.
It's a huge question mark.
Yeah, it seems like McDaniel should have just embraced the role of lifetime offensive coordinator. But also McDaniel's probably realized his offense is never going to look as good again with Mac Jones. So this could be his last opportunity to be a head coach. And the only team that wanted him was actually the Raiders. So better take it. Better take it. And that's what I said. Like, they feel like I still think the Raiders have a chance to be a very good team. But if all these teams are healthy, everything pans out the way it looks like it will, just based on talent, 4th. Okay? Then,
and that's not that much of an insult in the AFC West. Like, someone has to come in 4th.
No, it's like they would probably be first in almost any of the other divisions, or fighting for first.
If you put them in the AFC South, like, you probably win comfortably.
All right. We know about the Broncos draft, so we're not going to go over that. A for Nick Bonito. We did that in the last episode. Look at all those A's in the middle there.
Like it.
Draft grades are irrelevant, but they make us feel something. Okay, Chargers. Haven't really looked too much into the Chargers draft, but they take a guard up top, Zion Johnson, who a lot of people think is the best guard in the draft. Okay, so I think that's good. And then Isaiah Spiller. I find that interesting because I think that's if Isaiah Spiller's good and they have somebody else other than Austin Eckler. Again, we don't know how often, the Chargers are going to run, but if they can be more effective when they do with a guy like Spiller, then that to me is a guy who could be a pretty big difference maker for the entire sort of, I don't want to say identity, but effectiveness of their offense. Because it feels like their offense was very effective, but it was missing just enough that it cost them enough games last year to miss the playoffs because they got bounced by the Raiders, who I think weren't as talented of a team last year. And, they missed the postseason. So
you have to ask yourself, where did they address their biggest need? And to me, their biggest need was not on the offensive line or at safety or at running back. This is a team that gave up 2,361 yards on the ground last year, which was 30th in the NFL. And that's kind of like, part of that is by design because their philosophy is to let you run on them and stop the pass. But at a certain point, that stopped working.
Yeah.
And you need to slow down the run at a certain point, and they showed that they're just not at all capable of doing that. So I don't know if I would have liked to see them upgrade a little bit there. I am really, really glad that Jameson Williams didn't fall to them because I think he would have added
Yeah, that
a
would have been
speed element
scary.
that would have been really hard to defend, and I don't think Keenan Allen's going to play forever. So, all things considered, like a very nondescript draft by the Chargers.
So you're saying you were thinking they would go defensive line and or like linebacker to try and help with the run defense.
Yeah, that would have made sense to me. But that's clearly not what they want to do as a football team.
Right.
I mean, this was the 29th defense last year.
Against the run?
Total. They gave up 27 points a game.
Wow. I forget that. Shit.
Fifth offense, 27.9 points per game. 29th defense.
And they did that with Joey Bosa, with Derwin James, with Jerry Tillery.
Jerry Tillery, the first player you ever mocked to the Broncos on this podcast.
Man, look at that. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option.
Uh-oh.
Boy, that's a freezing cold take. Go look up my Jerry Tillery take.
Hey, he's fine. Who'd they take instead? Noah Fant? That was the same year, right?
I think.
All right, Jerry Tillery had 4.5 sacks last year. It's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
He's an okay player.
Yeah, but could he stop the run?
He started 15 games. Apparently not. Apparently no one can stop the run.
Yeah. See, so I really do feel like if I'm ranking the power here, it's Chiefs until proven otherwise, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. That's what my gut says.
That's how I was going to put it too, because people have kind of crowned the Chargers as a perennial
they got a
playoff
lot to
team.
prove still.
They haven't made the playoffs under Justin Herbert. They don't have a winning record under Justin Herbert. I'm not saying that's Justin Herbert's fault.
No.
I'm just saying like that's the status quo right now.
Yeah.
They have not proved that they can do it. They had a golden opportunity to make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And, we remember how that went, right?
Yeah. Like if they start converting, let's just say 20% more of the crazy fourth down shit they do, then they'll be really hard to beat. But
they also gave up, they allowed a third down conversion almost half the time, 49.5% of the time, which is 32nd in the NFL. So maybe you should try to stop the run.
Yeah. That's going to be their Achilles heel if it doesn't change. Especially if you play a balanced team like the Broncos might be, where they can run or throw against you.
Yeah.
And when you're giving up third downs, we've seen it. It just wears out your defense. Like, it's hard for your defense to be good when they're tired. Okay. And then we got the Chiefs. We all know, we've heard about how great their draft is. All-time best draft ever. It was pretty good, though. Trent McDuffie, I think, has a lot to prove to be like a really good corner at the NFL level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident, he's not going to be Pat Surtain. There's a chance he's, a really good corner. He could be like, the other rookies we saw last year who performed well. Asante Samuel for the Chargers was good. J.C. Horn might have been if he didn't get hurt so early. Pat Surtain, great. But it's adding Karlaftis that bothers me to align with Chris Jones. Maybe Frank Clark tries during the regular season, and that would worry me. It's a force, but I thought that was their biggest weakness was edge, and they kind of hit on that, and I don't like that as a Broncos fan. And then Skye Moore, you're bringing in your speed receiver, maybe that. Maybe Skye Moore and Mecole Hardman, the combo of it gives you enough to somewhat replace Tyreek Hill's production.
I don't know.
You can get there. You can maybe combine and have numbers closer. it's just not going to be the same in terms of the way a defense has to game plan for a guy like Tyreek Hill. And like speed is great, but we've seen that also not work many times with receivers. You know what I mean? The speediest guy, it's like John Ross.
I mean, yeah, if it was that easy, Tyquan Thornton would have gone in the top 5 because you're in a 4.28. And, in a vacuum, that makes you think that, okay, that's going to have the same effect as Tyreek Hill because he's going to make the safeties have to play back. But there's more to playing wide receiver than running in a straight line.
Yes. I'm very good at running in a straight line.
Yeah, you are.
DK Metcalf would be the greatest receiver that's ever lived. That's all it took, Will.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good already.
He might be the best straight line runner ever. So it's, Kansas City didn't have very many holes. That's what's when they have this many draft picks, they're probably going to find a couple playmakers there. Maybe some guys are going to even look better because they're going to the Chiefs. Leo Chanel was a really solid pickup for them when they have 2 pretty good linebackers already. Like, it just makes their depth there. It gives them flexibility. So I don't want to talk too much about the Chiefs or fillet them.
I mean, you have to balance out losing Tyreek Hill and Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu is another big loss.
It is, yeah, just because of the versatility there. And I think it's hard to put a value on what he did for their defense before he got there 2018 and after he got there 2019, he's a top 3 reason why they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Big one.
Just because of how good their defense was in the playoffs and late in the season.
Yeah. And maybe you're able to get some of that with who's the safety? They bring in Brian Cook. Maybe that's why you take another linebacker like Leo Chanel, where it's not one player that's giving you that range, but you're playing the guessing game of situational football to insert those guys, right? But
yeah, because Chanel is not
not like a cover guy, right?
Cover guy.
Yeah.
Right. Got a finesse name, but he's a hard-nosed.
He's like a Jesse
stopping linebacker. We do have to point out this is crazy too because the Saints signed Tyrann Mathieu. They also signed Daniel Sorensen.
Oh, they did? I didn't even see that.
The Chiefs did upgrade by getting rid of Daniel Sorensen.
When did they sign Sorensen?
I didn't know this because I was looking him up. I guess it was like 9 days ago, March 25th.
Damn, we needed that for the episode today. Oh, I even made a Dan Sorensen reference. Fuck.
No one reported it.
I just assumed the NFL had him executed.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is there for New Orleans, but
they signed Marcus May, the Jets safety, too, this offseason.
I didn't even know he was a free agent.
Or did they trade for Marcus May?
I don't know. I wrote about it in the video, but New Orleans makes no sense to me.
No.
Their whole team, I don't get it. They could be really good or they could win like 3 games.
Yeah. They're the best team I've ever seen without a quarterback heading into this season. That's my take.
And they traded up like 5 times for Chris Olave.
Yeah. I don't trust Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston. God.
Trust Jameson Williams. I don't trust Jameis
Winston. I've said Jameson Williams so many times now that I'm butchering Jameis Winston's name.
And that's how you know.
Yeah, we've reached the end of the podcast.
Yabba dabba dabba. That's all, folks.
Yabba dabba doo, sucker. Last note. Look at this. Broncos, 7th round. Faion Hicks, grade D+. Who the fuck are you to grade a 7th round draft pick?
Yeah. What the hell? Like,
the whole point is like, this is a guy who there's a good chance doesn't even get drafted. It's a good chance he could have went a round or two earlier. You know almost nothing about this player, and you're calling it a bad grade. Any 6th or 7th round grades you give are completely arbitrary. Just say NA.
Yeah, just say
NA
like
on those.
C+. Every 7th round pick should be a C+. If you take a living, breathing football player in the 7th round, C+.
Yeah. Oh, Raiders take UCLA running back D in the 7th round. Fuck off, Raiders.
Oh, but the Chargers got a B for their running back, Xander Horvath.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's a white guy. I think he's a white running back.
Is he a white?
I'm pretty sure I've seen him play.
It's
I'm
like the only
man.
It should be NA unless like there's a guy who is incredible value drafted in the 7th round. It's like if a team would have drafted Carson Strong there, should have gotten a good grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. That always like doesn't make sense to me. How, if the thing they're saying with Carson Strong is that he had like 12 teams calling him after the draft.
Yeah,
and he got the highest contract of any undrafted rookie ever.
Yeah,
it's like, but teams
weren't
willing to spend a 7th rounder on him.
Yeah, why didn't you just maybe it turned into a courtesy thing. I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with Justin Ross on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Which we talked about, but that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, if he's healthy, then that might be the guy, not Skye Moore, that turns into this big weapon for them in the receiving game.
Yeah, but even like that 1% chance of it working out is worth
a
7th rounder to me.
Yeah, and I read a thing saying that the Chiefs medical staff usually errs on the side of caution. Like they're pretty conservative in how they evaluate injuries, and they feel pretty good about him. So maybe he's going to be totally healthy.
That's bad news. It's going to be one of those things where like, why did 31 teams pass on him 7 times? Well, why did 32 teams pass on him 7 times?
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're done with this podcast. We're getting out of here. Follow Will on Twitter at Guillermo Yaves. Let us know you made it to the end.
Guns don't kill people.
Russell Wilson blows out their brains.